Hello, everyone. I will assume you can hear me. If you can hear me, Chris, please confirm. Chris, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, Christine.
Okay, sure. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to our eighth jump session. Today, on a Monday, we're going to have Chris Okech, who is going to take us through the jump session today. And today, we're going to be doing integrating OnchainKit and MiniKit. And Chris is going to go ahead and guide us on that. OnchainKit is a very key part when you're working with MiniKit. Since we have been having series of MiniKits, then we will jump on to OnchainKit and see how we can work with OnchainKit and how we can work with it with mini apps and mini kits. So I welcome Chris to go ahead and take us through the session today.
Yes, thank you so much, Christine. It's quite a wonderful day to, build on base, of course. And today we're going to be covering OnChainKit and MiniKit, just as Christine has mentioned. So let me take this chance to welcome all of us on board. And let's all head over to the best documentation that talks about OnChainKit as I share my screen on how to initiate a project with OnChainKit as well. Okay, so please confirm you're able to see my screen.
Yes, Chris, your screen is visible.
Nice. So ideally, OnChainKit helps to onboard your users to your application primarily. And it's one of the fastest ways of introducing people to your app and making the experience be as seamless as possible. So OnChainKit, first of all, interacts directly with Coinbase Developer Platform APIs. So first of all, you have to have an account with CDP so that you can get access to their API keys that you can as well utilize within your OnChainKit project. So ideally, we are going to be covering the first bit of initiating an OnChainKit project. So we're going to go ahead and begin by first of all interacting with the terminal. So once you visit this particular page within the base documentation, then you'll get all the steps that are required for you to successfully initiate your project. So after this, we'll also get to connect this with MiniKit, which basically is one of the tools that you can use to build a successful mini app on Base. And MiniKit also directly makes you interact with OnChainKit primarily as a developer. So let me go ahead and share my other window, which will be using now to initiate the first project. Okay, so my system is kind of hanging a little bit, but let me work to resolve this. So ideally, I'm creating a project from my home directory. So let me name it and then share the window.
Chris, can you still
Yes,
hear me, Chris?
yes, I can still hear you.
Oh, we're waiting on you, or we should give you some time.
Yeah, let me just set it up. So
Oh, okay.
I think meanwhile you can touch a little bit on why we are choosing OnchainKit for this particular session, as I work to resolve why my machine is hanging chaos.
Okay, as Chris has said, touch on why we're doing OnchainKit. So OnchainKit is basically the like a tool, an app tool you use to build your dApps on this. So this makes building your front ends for your dApp easier. It is components, React components that you can use, that you can integrate in your app for onboarding, for easier transactions, for removing gas fees for your customers. So basically, the reason we're doing the on-chain session today is because MiniKit and on-chain work uh, hand in hand. You saw when we were doing mini kits, we were using a bit of on-chain kit that is for buttons for. So basically, on-chain kit is a very crucial part when you're working with mini kits. Are you ready to go on, Chris?
Yes.
Sure.
So let me just share my screen now. Okay, so ideally, I've created a folder called base test. Kenya, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, so we're gonna open this in the terminal, and then I'm also going to initiate my ID, which is Casa for this particular setup, and then we are going to open the particular folder, and then begin now initiating the project from there now. Okay, great. So we've already seeded into our project. So ideally, we are going to now initiate our first on-chain kit project. So ideally, from following what the docs is actually outlining, we're supposed to run a command which is npm create on-chain at latest. So we are going to just write that on our terminal on-chain kit at latest. So we're going to give it time to now initialize our first on-chain kit project, and then we're going to give it a name, of course, which is now, let's say, base test. And then at this point, we'll be required to key in our CDP API key. You remember when I was beginning, we touched on the bit of having a Coinbase developer platform account. So you have to get the CDP API key. So for this, it's currently optional, but you can as well go ahead and input it later on the subsequent stages of the project. So we can just click on next for this, and then we can approve this that our data be used to like improve other on chain components that will be created after this. So we can just say yes to that, and then we've successfully now initiated like our first bit of the project, but now we have to cd into base test. After cding, we have to now install all our dependencies on our project directory. So you can just run npm I, which will now install all the dependencies that we need. And then just to keep track of all the dependencies that are currently in our project, we'll be taking note of our package.json, which basically contains all the dependencies that will be, making our project run successfully. So this will take of course some time because it largely depends on the speed of the internet and also how large the files are. So I think if you're familiar with some React libraries and some React frameworks, we've ideally now created a Next.js project. So for Next.js projects, I mean, we have got the app folder, which basically acts like the core bit of the app, where we'll be having our page. Our page will be actually be served from this point, where we'll also be importing various OnchainKit components. We also have the providers file, which contains largely the on-chain kit configurations that are needed for us to successfully have OnchainKit rendered on our front end or on our UI. So you can see we've currently used the OnchainKit provider for this particular setup, and then it will be consuming our OnchainKit API key, and then of course our chain is base, and then the configuration largely here depends on now how you'd want the app to look like. If you want to configure how the appearance will be, changing the color from one point to another, and then we also have the layout, which just as the name suggests, it's basically normally describes or highlights how your application or how the various components in your application will be served. So we have the providers file, which automatically we all know contains the on-chain kit configuration. So we have to wrap it with the children in our application. So that means everything will be running within the providers wrapper. So as we wait for our dependencies to also, like continue or finish installation, we can go ahead and also share something from the base documentation as well. So let me go back and share the documentation itself. Great. So yes, so we've successfully. Sorry. Yes, I hope you can see my screen. So we've successfully initiated an Next.js project, of course, and then we are now yet to test our OnchainKit app after the dependencies are successfully installed. And then we'll also be able now to see how these various OnchainKit components are being utilized within our application. And then a quick question probably would be, why are we so bullish on ChainKit? So one, we have got the identity component. So basically, the identity component highlights or gives you the ability as a developer to grab the identity of your user. So you can either do this using the wallet address or the schema ID, and the identity component is directly served also using the name component, the badge, and the address as well. After this, we have got the address. So basically, the address now highlights how the user's address is now being showcased or rather rendered on the front end using OnchainKit. So this basically allows the user actually to be able to see the wallet address that has been connected. So basically, it's all about the user interface at this point and the user experience. And then we also have the avatar, for example. We have let's wait to load up. We can also check out the progress of our installation if it's already successful or not. So it's halfway done, so it's close to finishing. Great. So basically, the avatar component gives you the ability to utilize the avatars that Coinbase is currently utilizing with the Coinbase wallet as well. So probably you've seen something like this. I think my network is kind of like slow today, but it should be loading up in a few. Yes, it's loading up. So let's give it time. Yeah, so basically that's how an avatar looks like. So probably you've seen this when you're connecting your Coinbase wallet to other applications, the base ecosystem. So majorly that's what happens when we utilize the avatar component. And then of course we want to be covering like close to all of them because we have like all this lined up. But basically, the identity component, I think it's one of um, the largest use cases that we have that developers really like when it comes to integrating OnchainKit. Personally, I love the bit that I can be able to integrate OnchainKit on a mini app and as well on a live app, of course, on the web. So this comes with a lot of advantages when it comes to the users, and they can be able to know the wallet that has been connected, the address, and yeah, they can also be able to copy the wallet address instantly when they want to now interact with other things on chain. So let's check out our terminal once again and see the progress. Still not yet, but I think largely we are. Let me assume that at least we know how our project structure looked like and the various files that are in here. So majorly we have the SVG folder, which of course just carries the images that are being displayed on the UI. We'll be able to see this once we run the program and successfully. Uh, Another thing is the gitignore folder, of course, which has got majorly most of the files that necessarily we don't need or are highly advised that we don't push to our GitHub. And lastly is the nextconfig.mjs, which basically has got the Next.js configuration that allows our application to run successfully. And lastly is the tailwind and the ts config, the JSON. So basically, here is now where all the configurations it matters, our naming, how we name our applications, uh, not necessarily our applications, but our files within our application, and also um, other modules or other dependencies and other libraries like ESLint are also being configured from this point as well. For the Tailwind config.js, basically has got the Tailwind configurations. We all know Tailwind is one of the libraries that we use when it comes to styling our components and styling our UIs to look good. And probably now, just to get back to where we are in terms of uh, navigating through the various identity components that we have for OnchainKit. We have got the badge component. So the badge component gives you the ability to also utilize the avatar component in a whole different way. So it can go along with the avatar or name component to display the user attestations attached to the account. Then lastly, we have got sorry we have got the socials. So the socials component displays the social media links associated with the business. So apparently you've ever visited one of the landing pages on the base documentations like this. So apparently you can see how mine is being displayed right now. So it's imchris.base.eth, but on tapping it, it has got all these features inside it. So you can be able to explore most of the things that are associated with the user's wallet, or the users themselves can be able to now explore much of the things that are being offered with OnchainKit on chain when we now integrate all these components. So getting back to our project, you can see we have successfully installed all the dependencies that we need, and then now we're going to now run our development server and then see what's happening on the front end. Great. So let's wait for it to compile. And then we can get to see what we have so far on our UI. So we are serving our project on localhost 3002. So ideally, being that I've used an external command, so that's why it has opened like automatically. But in a scenario where you want to like visit this the manual way, you can just go ahead and type this manually on your browser, and then just type in the port name, and then it will be able to also showcase on your UI on your side. So it's close to now finishing the compilation. And then you can always follow what's happening on the browser side from the terminal. So for example, right now we are on at a stage where the project is still compiling, it's not yet successfully like passed through. So if it will be successfully compiled, then we'll either see get 200, and then when it fails, of course, we'll get an error. So let's wait for it to finish, and then we can see what's currently on our UI. It is taking quite some time. Let me see if we can. Okay, so we have a chain kit already rendered. So let's wait for it to compile fully. Great. Great. So we have OnchainKit already rendered now on our UI. So ideally, if we could go ahead and then now explore what you're currently having, we're having the wallet component has been rendered, and then I'm able to see my wallet address over here and my base name. So ideally, what we have currently is what we are talking about at this point. Let me just get back to it. So we have used the name component to now successfully render our base name on our UI. So ideally, what's now being currently utilized on our UI is this particular component. So this is how we utilize it. So probably can share this code snippet. We have this on our code base so that we can easily relate now how we can easily also now integrate that. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess everyone is able to see my screen, and you can see we utilize the name component at this point. And then on our providers file, we went ahead and wrapped our application, of course, in the providers file with our on-chain kit, like API key. But we the successfulness of now, or rather for us to now successfully now connect our wallet to interact now with the base network itself, we have to now configure our API key from CDP. So let's go ahead and visit Coinbase developer platform, and then create a new API key, and then consume it on our backend, and then let's see now how the UI will now react to that. So we'll just go ahead and then name our API key. Let's say base test, and then we'll also go ahead and enable some restrictions, and we'll go ahead and tick the two, and then create and download. So I'll go ahead and complete this two-factor authentication. After then, we should be able to now get our API keys for our project. So of course, I'll be able to switch these keys after this, but maybe just for now, this particular session, I'll go ahead and explain the two. So we have the API key ID, which basically it's sort of like the identifier for our API key project. So this is what Coinbase developer platform uses to track our project, and at least to give our project an identity on their platform. And then this is now the key that we actually need to configure on our project back here so that we have a successful connection. So we'll go ahead to our .env file and then easily paste this over here and then save it, of course. After saving it, the local development server will be able to reload once again because we've made changes to our .env file. And then going back to our developer, not really developer portal, but our application, we can go ahead and now disconnect this. So OnchainKit, by default, is able to detect previous connections. So that means it's able to go ahead and gather all these cache for your previous wallet connection sessions. So that happened because of a cache issue. So going ahead, we can go ahead and initiate wallet connection. So also our dApp currently doesn't have like a name attached to it, so it will just say a dApp. So you can see it's prompting me to now to sign in as I'm chris.best.it. Then I just confirm this. After confirming, it will be able to now retrieve our wallet balance, retrieve our wallet address, and even an avatar for this particular scenario, and our base name as well. So likely going back to the page.tsx, which carries all the utilities that we have for the particular project. Just a minute. So we have the connect wallet button, of course, the connect wallet component. I mean, we have the avatar that we were able to see the blue icon that's already there, the name, which is of course my base name, and then we have the wallet drop down. So this wallet drop down is what we are seeing here. If we touch on this, you can see it's able to like pop in and out, and then going back, we have got the it balance, so it's able to also retrieve my current it balance from my base name and from my address, of course. And then a wallet drop down link. So these are some of the preconfigured preconfigured let me say configurations from Coinbase OnchainKit component. So the icon is wallet. Of course, the href is where now the redirection happens, which is keys.coinbase.com. And then the rest of this is now basically what we have on the UI in matters regarding now all these links that you see here: transaction, swap, checkout, wallet, identity, NFT, commerce, and fund. So this is basically just like a guide on where you can get all these other components and how you can also go ahead and integrate them. Yes. So, Christine, do we have anything that probably I haven't touched on? Hello? Christine, are you able to hear me?
Sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, my internet was having issues.
Oh, it's
I don't think we have had anything that we have not gone through the session. Maybe you provide. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
I was saying maybe you provide examples of how they can use MiniKit and OnchainKit for their applications on their
Yes,
mini apps.
yeah,
Just
definitely.
expand on, just give them some use cases. I think that's going to cover it all. Don't think there's anything else we can cover
Great.
on this session other than that.
Okay, so I think I was getting to that. We've actually covered most of the OnchainKit components that we interact with on a daily basis on most of the dApps on Base. So likely, I just wanted us to at least see how MiniKit and OnchainKit correlate or rather relate to each other. So let's just go ahead and search MiniKit overview from here. So largely with Base, I highly recommend that we follow the documentation as a builder when building applications really and highly advise that most of the things or most of the bugs that you face, you highly, moreover, like depend on the documentation, because close to everything is always here. You can always copy a page to an LLM, or open it in cloud, open it in ChatGPT if you're a good vibe coder. And also, if you are having like a vibe coding session, you can easily use this feature. And then there's also an Ask AI section on the platform or on the documentation. So you can easily always ask this chat assistant, just in case you don't understand probably a bit that is highlighted on the documentation. So it will be able to give you feedback, or rather like give you clarification regarding any part of the documentation that you don't understand. Yeah, so back to how MiniKit actually also utilizes on ChainKit. Probably let me just talk about the provider. So if you check keenly how the MiniKit provider is implemented, you can see we are importing MiniKit provider from Coinbase on ChainKit slash MiniKit. So this directly tells you that OnchainKit plays a huge role in terms of building a successful mini app. And probably just to confirm this, we can have a direct use case on how Minisend is actually utilizing MiniKit also in this particular scenario. So once you wrap your app, of course, I think we touched on this when we were going through our project directory on the various files. So you can see we have the MiniKit provider wrapping all the children in our app. Or for this particular example, just a snippet of it, of course, is being used to at least show us how we can easily utilize MiniKit provider. And then going down on, you can see the OnchainKit provider props. So all props from OnchainKit provider are also supported. That means close to everything that's normally let's say close to everything that's provided from the documentation on ChainKit can also be utilized or can also be used when it comes to also shipping a mini app on base. So this provider sets up a WAGMI and React Query providers automatically. So that tells you can always the knowledge that you have in terms of integrating on ChainKit to an app, you can still use that when building your mini app on base. So checking on what we have here with Minisend, you can see primarily when you try to connect your wallet to Minisend, which is of course a mini app on Fakasta and still it operates on the base app. You can see we have on ChainKit also initializing itself from this point. So this is how the two interact. You can always use MiniKit provider, and MiniKit provider comes pre-built with OnchainKit components, and that can easily help you onboard users on base and even users on other chains. Because for this particular example, uh, it also accepts MetaMask and Phantom Wallet, if I'm not wrong. So that gives you an opportunity to onboard people from even other chains and even users from other chains to your application or to your mini app. So largely, I think that's the big correlation that exists when it comes to MiniKit and OnChainKit. And largely, when it comes to also integrating it to your application, you can always follow the docs, use the various hooks that have been provided, and then you can always initialize your project successfully. Yes. For this particular example that we've done today, I think I'll be able to push the code base to our community GitHub based East Africa, so that you can go ahead and also edit it and also build on top of what we've actually learned today, and scale it even further to maybe integrating it in your current project, or rather just converting it to a mini kit or a mini app on base. So likely, I think that's all when it comes to now the interactivity that exists between OnChainKit and MiniKit. Yes. Okay, so probably lastly before we wind up, we have Unchin Summer, which is currently on, which awards builders who are shipping meaningful and most innovative apps on base. So it recognizes the most impactful on-chain applications that are currently being built on base, and then it's currently running up to August 25th. So it will be awarding top live mini apps on base and top live consumer apps as well. And then it will also be awarding new apps, top new mini apps, and top new consumer apps on base as well. So you can go ahead and curate a project, build a project, a real world use case that solves a real problem on chain, and then be rewarded for your work and be rewarded for your contributions. I mean, on chain. And then it's actually a global hackathon, a global buildathon. So all of us are, you know, implored to actually apply towards it, build something that people use on a daily and build something that people need on base. And as well, you can always reach out via the community TG, via community channel as well, and we'll always be ready to come through and to assist. Yes, I think that's all for this particular session. I'll hand it over back to you, Christine, at this point.
Yes, thank you, Chris, for the wonderful session. I think that was a very good, detailed beginner entry for anyone who was interacting with OnchainKit for the first time, and anyone who wanted to learn how to use MiniKit with OnchainKit, how to build their mini apps using OnchainKit, and how to ship quality product. Chris is always going to tell you keep building, build for the users. So thank you for joining our jam session. And uh, I think you should now start asking questions. We don't see questions on the comments. So maybe let's make the sessions more engaging so that people can ask questions. Oh, yeah. I see we have Jane. And yeah, let me just conclude on what I say. Just joining in was a disruption. Yeah, so thank you for joining in and see you on Friday. We're going to build now something with OnchainKit. We're going to build more than just what OnchainKit offers. Maybe use the component to build that up. So see you on Friday. And Jane, I think you're on stage because you need to give a comment. So I will give the floor to you.
Thank you so much. That was a really lovely session, Chris and Kenya, and hope to see you on Friday.
Yes, I think probably lastly before we wind up, I forgot to share about one key thing that's currently will be beginning early September, which is the Best Fellowship Founders Program. So we are all, asked to apply towards it. If you have a product that's currently having viable traction and it's currently built on chain, of course, and it's deployed on mainnet, you can apply for the Founders Fellowship Program. You can go ahead and visit our leads X account or profile on X, and then be able to get the details to apply towards this. So the Best Founders Fellowship Africa program will be running from 1st to 10th of September, and it will be an IRL, of course, meetup here in Nairobi. So deadline is August. So you can go ahead and apply towards this, and all the best, and keep building, stay based.
Uh, Thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Jane. See you on Friday. Keep building, build on this. Have a nice evening.